My name is Ken Revenaugh, and this is my testimony. Believe it or not, this rather round, older guy was once a very scrawny boy. I loved to ride my bike, far beyond where my mom thought me to be, but other than that, my athletic skills were non-existent. But give me a board game, particularly a strategy game, one with complicated rules, and I could excel. I'd read the rules and look for ways to make them work in my favor. I took that same attitude to church with me. In Jim's terminology, we attended a franchise that seemed to believe that the 10 Commandments were for underachievers, for the truly pious, like those at my church. They had rules that they believed might gain them more favor in heaven. Rules like no smoking, alcohol, dancing, or other taboos to be named at a later date. But then I would go home to my very Catholic neighborhood, where I knew my neighbors to be some very good, God-fearing people whose church didn't have all of those extra rules that I didn't find in my Bible. I found it hard to reconcile how my loving God would condemn my neighbors for all eternity to hell for not following those extra rules. Then one Lenten season, the pastor's sermon related the story of Christ on the cross and his words to the thief on the cross beside him. The thief had repented of his sins, and Christ said in Luke 23:43, "Truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." A light bulb went off in my 9-year-old head. Here was the rule I'd been looking for, the one I could make work in my favor. I didn't really need to worry too much about any of the rules as long as I repented sometime before I died. No sense pushing my luck right up to the end, but maybe when I got old, I probably ought to get around to it. A few months later, I became very ill, and each day got worse. The third day, my mom and dad took me to the doctor's office where I was diagnosed with acute appendicitis, and we were told to rush to the hospital. At 9 years old, in the back seat of our '58 Chevy, I decided I was old enough to ask the Lord's forgiveness and ask Him into my heart. Later, we were told that 2 more hours and the appendix likely would have ruptured. The lessons I learned: I'm not smarter, more strategic, or more anything than the Almighty. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Not the youngest, nor the healthiest, nor the anythingest know the number of our days on this earth. No sane investor would risk their entire worldly wealth trying to time the market. For heaven's sake, don't risk your eternal soul by delaying your salvation decision another hour.